Only from me. Watch it.
But so when I was listening back to some stuff preparing for this episode. This is the season finale of season 2, which was kind of an unofficial thing we decided, but these are seasons. It seems like it's rolling.
End of the calendar year, end of the season, totally feels right, yeah.
And, last year we ended it with the opening of the very store that we're sitting in right now. 1 year later, which is really crazy to think about. But so here we are, and I know tons happened this year, but from your perspectives, I know even your roles have changed, I feel like, since last year with bringing on some new people.
Yeah. Our team has evolved. We've expanded and contracted in different roles.
I was going to say both.
Yeah, we ended up hiring, 3 or 4 different people. 3. And 2 of them cycled off. See, no, I think we hired more than that. Are we naming names? Or are we trying to protect the innocent?
No. Yeah.
All right. We had gone through a couple of different folks with a marketing role.
That's right.
And then we had initially actually offered it to the person who ended up eventually accepting it. Somebody who'd been with us for about 2.5, 3 years, actually. And
as a barista.
Yeah.
And kind of part-time marketing, social media.
And it came time to sort of grow. I think part of maybe what we talked about at the end last year, you remember it more than us, was how we wanted to grow. We knew we wanted to strengthen our team, and this was definitely a role we wanted to strengthen. And the other 2 folks weren't quite the right fit. And by the time we got to the 4th quarter, Destiny had kind of reached back out and said, "Hey,
we're name dropping."
Yeah, we're only name dropping a few.
I'm the one that stayed.
Yeah. So Destiny has now joined us as our director of marketing and really hit the ground running. And then we also hired a director of operations. That was, very early on. We even featured Ryan.
He's like in the middle of the season.
Yeah, we featured him early on, or middle of the season as well. And the cool thing that ended up happening that none of us planned was that his kind of escape from the corporate world, he was working in corporate restaurants.
Yeah.
And then coming to work for a mom and pop. And even though we have a big team, it's not just Jessica and I, it really was just the 2 of us who were making the decisions. When he got to sort of see that and experience that, in addition to his side gig, which was a food truck.
Yeah.
I think I guess I don't want to speak for him, he's not here, but I think he started to see how feasible it was for him to be able to go all in and go full time on his own food-related endeavor. And just in the last few weeks, he's officially set sail on that journey, and it ended up being a great learning experience for both of us about that role, and we decided not to rehire somebody else into that role, but just to kind of return to a different sort of structure that we had previously. So any other thoughts? Oh, you're being a little quiet over there, Jessica.
You guys went to Columbia.
Oh,
we
gosh.
did. Yeah, when you were talking about our 1-year anniversary here, it just passed us by. We were in Columbia visiting a coffee farm, and it was just a really great experience for us, getting to conceptualize and see in person some of the things that we had read about in books and learned as we've had a coffee business for several years now. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of fanfare for our 1 year here, but I think that we feel like we're in a pretty stable place right now, which is always nice and never to be taken for granted.
Oh yeah.
Because
go ahead.
we know it will quickly change. You go from being overstaffed to understaffed, and peaks and valleys, and so we're kind of appreciating this time that we're in right now, with no plans of expanding to another location right now.
Okay. Because you guys actually ended the last episode of last year. It was like asking how it feels to have the store open, and you said specifically, you said, I'm ready for a break. I'm ready to like enjoy what we've built. So I guess
we had some of
I
that.
guess
We had
here we
our,
are.
like my first international. I actually had my first international trip and then a second one in the same year. So we went to Europe with our family, and then to Colombia with our work family.
Yeah.
And then it was like getting to have both of those things happening in the same year was pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, we wouldn't have been able to do that without a strong team, and we realized that by slowing down the actual like, growth and expansion of locations would allow us to focus on developing that team and make sure that people's roles were defined appropriately to their skills and strengths and interests or where they wanted to grow. And yeah, we're as we're recording this, we're in the middle of wrapping up our annual reviews, and we're able to sort of reflect back with the folks that are doing the annual reviews on what happened in the previous year and what we're looking forward to and how things have changed, just in those 12 months. And yeah, we feel really good about it.
Do you guys, as you go along, I would say like grow, but also just like as time passes, do you have conversations about like, well, what do we want to become? Like, because we could become like we could like go for it and become this big chain, or we could we could expand really fast and just, but like, do you think like, actually it's kind of nice being just 4 stores, or like
I feel like we have
nice
those
being
conversations all the time. We are constantly working through that because it's like it's life.
Yeah.
And it's what do we want our life to look? What do we want our lives to look like?
Yeah.
Because the last 2 years with opening 2 stores kind of back to back, it was craziness. It was so much work that we worked every single day, all day on like construction things, and still had to do all of the other things. So
Yep.
I think for both of us, although this year hasn't been perfect, it's been really good to have gone through a season of just stabilizing
Yeah.
and feeling like let's continue to pour that foundation. And then it's like if an opportunity comes along that is too good to pass up, we're ready.
Yep.
And we did kick the tires on an opportunity that we ultimately decided not to move forward on.
There's been a couple of them actually.
Like as in new stores?
Yeah. And I had another spot that I was really, really interested in. It's just so expensive, and just decided with the economy, with the presidential election this year, like I just didn't want to get myself in a financial situation where I was overstretched. And
Do you allow yourself though, like before you get to the financial part, do you allow yourself to dream up?
I had the
She
whole
really does.
I had
paint the
whole-
picture, like you're like, I see it.
I had the whole vision. It was going to be awesome. It was going to be like a wedding venue / honeymoon location. I mean, really going into
Oh,
the
I think I
vein.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It was going to be beautiful. And
She had a name for it too.
did I?
The farmhouse.
Oh, I was like, what?
That's how you referred to it all the time.
Yeah,
The
I did.
farmhouse.
Yeah, I was imagining this like
Sounds
modern
nice.
looking farmhouse with like lots of white and
Well, and
windows everywhere, and it was going to be really sweet. But I also have to just accept like money is like a constraint, and we don't have an endless amount of it, and it's not a risk I'm willing to bet everything on right now.
Yeah.
I think so. One of the things we focused on, I mean, the major focus of the second season was interviewing other couples that work together. And so when we visited the farmer and the Frenchman,
I just thought of them too, though, when you said the farmhouse.
Yeah. I think if I remember right, that was maybe when the interest in exploring that option was kind of peaking, because
No, it was over.
You had already
I think
decided it was over?
Yeah, it was way after that.
Okay.
Because
But
you
it gave
re-signed
me-
the Burkhart.
Yeah, we had to
And that
make a
was
decision
before.
on the Burkhart lease, and we've had some new developments on that front, but
Well, I don't remember much.
Yeah.
But it was inspiring to see those folks. I mean, it's
Because they kind of do
Yeah, they have
wine,
a restaurant
but,
yeah.
as well
Restaurant,
as
wine,
these
stay
three
there.
kind of Airbnb, type spaces.
Although for them it's even more because they actually live there. So like
Okay,
their
yes.
house is on top of the restaurant. So it's not like us where we're jumping around between 4 stores and we might see a customer, but mostly people think that we are never in the shops because we might not be there at the same time that
Yeah.
they are. It's like for them, like people are seeing, they're really the face of their company
Yes.
Yeah.
all the time.
It's like, grandma at the login.
Yes.
So she's always there. She cooks all the pies. I think she still does. I don't know. But
My son went there
my
last
uppers.
night. I'll have
Yeah.
to ask.
Well, I
Yeah.
find out. Yeah.
she's always there though. It's like built into the fabric of the experience
Yeah.
is that you see these people, these
Well-
chairs are coming alive.
Yeah. This is very active audio for our podcast listeners. The thing that I was going to bring up around that growth in those 4 locations, and Jessica kind of alluded to it as well, of us, people maybe not seeing us as much because we might be at the other locations. Another thing that we experienced this year was how our staff is able to be unified and feel like one, or feel like they are a part of a whole. And we think we did a whole conversation podcast episode about that, about how the team kind of
home team.
works. Yeah, and the home team, and how can we use our house
Yeah.
to help bring, sort of more unified feeling in. We had done holiday parties every year, and this year I'm not sure if we're actually gonna try and do a unified holiday party. We've had all the different locations do decorating parties, and they may do something on the other side to take it down and maybe exchange gifts, but it's a little bit more on the store-to-store basis, and
Yeah.
that wasn't something that I expected, but that's where we're at.
Right before earlier today, I take like a midday 20-minute siesta every day. I don't drink coffee in the afternoon anymore. I take like a little bit of a nap.
Oh my gosh.
I'm 30 going on 78.
He's got diapers, babe. Yeah. He's dealing with diapers.
Dealing with diaper.
Middle of the night. Come on.
But I was thinking about how I just had this, like, sometimes I'll doze off, but I thought I kind of came to, and I had this like clarity that people are the most important part of what we're up to. And I think that comes from like maybe like moving from my role from like a creative into more of a managerial role. But like in your guys' case, if like having the home parties is part of, bringing everybody together and like treating them like family, how will you preserve that if you're not, as you grow, like how do you preserve the like warm-hearted?
Yeah,
'Cause it can go
what we
away.
landed on is that we, Zac and Jessica, have to pour into our leadership teams,
Yeah.
who then create that family within their stores.
Yeah.
Because we did
That makes
try
sense.
that's what Zach's talking about last year. We tried to have a company-wide party. Now that we had 4 stores, very low turnout.
At your house?
A little bit awkward.
Was it at your house?
No, we did it at the
No.
arcade.
It was at an arcade.
Okay.
And it was fun.
It was fun.
Like it wasn't not fun. It was clear that without sort of a forced get to know each other sort of part of it, it wasn't, hey, here's the people I do work with and do life with and see all the time. It was, I don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
Where are my people from each location?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
That makes sense.
at first, I think Zach was really upset about it, even because it was such a change. But it's really just a kind of an evolution of where we are, and
Yeah.
once you kind of can see where you are, then you're like, okay, you know what? Let's still have soup nights at our house, but it's the managers and the ops team from each store,
Yeah.
and then we're taking care of them. Not that I don't know, everyone that's working for us, but I don't know them as well as I do the people that are at like the management and leadership level.
Yep.
And so
Who are then spending all the time with the people you don't
and
know
in
as
the
well.
stores taking care of our customers, and it all trickles down, and how we treat people is how we expect them to treat our customers. And so it's different, but it doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Does the feeling of being new and like for example, I'm 4.5 years into building a record label, And right now, it still feels like we like just getting here. Like I feel like we're just getting started. Even though I do feel like there's a little bit of a leveling out of growth right now. But like, do you guys still carry that same feeling of? Do you feel bogged down in it, or do you feel that we're still figuring this thing out and we have so much ahead?
I think that in terms of our stores and their menu and the experience, that doesn't feel as new to me. But we create the newness with the seasonality of the menu, or we try and lean back into the newness, which is probably why we've spent the time trying to develop this new e-commerce thing, because it's a whole different landscape. It's a whole different type of business in a lot of ways. It's related to coffee, but we can't rely on us being a local coffee shop. And if we're honest, that was, I think, a big part of why people would give us a try. Like when you travel, you're often like looking for the local gems. Whether or not they're any good is like sort of secondary. I mean, you want it to be good, but if you,
I know what you mean, though.
You could go to a chain that you know is good, or you could take a risk, a gamble on something local because you're going to have a unique experience.
Yeah.
You're going to do that. And I think all local coffee shops, to some extent, benefit from that. And so, what we're trying to do with a nationwide product is we're not going to have any of the benefits of local anymore. And so that feels new and exciting for me.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, like you said, does it still feel new? Does it still feel...
like entrepreneurial?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think when you own something, you have to constantly be looking forward.
Yeah.
You can't just like chill out and be like, oh, just because people like us now means they're going to like us in 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think, at least for me, I'm always very driven to keep us relevant and always like just striving to get better.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit. But it's not nearly as hard as it was in the beginning. I mean, especially this past year without opening a new store, it was hard in different ways, but more like be patient, get these like foundational processes and standards in place so that we can move when we have a full body yes, which is one of my favorite things that we like, ever said or came up with.
Heck yeah.
It's just having that clarity. So, I mean, you just can't rest. You also can't take it for granted.
Yeah,
like, I don't
totally.
take what we have for granted, and I'm always a little crazy about, not being prideful. I'm known for this in my family.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, I just humbly, like, am just so shocked that we are where we are, and I don't take it for granted, and I want to just keep, like, serving our community well.
Yep. Well, after 1 year of being on the West Side, I think you're definitely like baked into certain people's routines. I would know because I've been here a lot.
You're one of them.
I've been here a lot this week.
I saw your
this year.
mother-in-law too the other day.
Yeah, my mother-in-law stops in. My sister every
Yeah.
Sunday after church, I see a big white Denali in the parking lot. So and my mom was here yesterday.
And
it's
that's
become
been
part of
fun
the community.
because we didn't grow up on the West Side, and I did not realize the difference. I always heard about this West Side, East Side thing, but it really is different. And people were a little less, like, it took them longer to even give us a chance.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting there. We're starting to have a lot of regulars and...
What's funny is like the competition isn't high over here.
No,
but I mean I've talked
but apparently routine and like tradition.
exactly
is strong.
exactly. So trying something new but even like the first impression. I'll be honest with you. I talked to somebody 2 weeks ago or something, and I said something about honeymoon, and he's like, I mean the coffee's good, but the food. I said, you don't like the food? He's like, well, it's not that I don't like it. It's good food, but. I think one time he had to wait like 10 minutes or something, and he couldn't believe it.
Like, we're a coffee shop.
I know, yeah. And I thought, but it's okay, isn't it? Like, but other than that, it's okay.
I'd wait those 10 minutes.
Yeah. But other than that, it was okay. And then I think one time he had to wait another time, but
that is always a good lesson. So finding your customer.
And he's not your right.
And
I
if
tell you
someone
that.
thinks you're a restaurant, the expectations are totally different than if someone wants to come to a coffee shop, and then you're so pleasantly surprised if there's something besides like just a muffin.
Yeah, totally.
In the case,
oh, there's a
right?
wrap. Yeah.
So when you take on a building this size, 4,000 square feet, of course people are going to see you as a restaurant because it's so big that you think that that's what it is. So that's been a little bit of a challenge, but also I feel like we're definitely hitting our stride with how the community knows
People
us.
who get it.
Yeah.
I did see an old couple grab the menus and go sit down at the table. like it was, you know.
Where's our server?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they had a great time, but, you know, it was like they were at a restaurant.
Hopefully someone told them that they had to order.
Yeah, you had to go to the front to order.
Yeah.
So that was a lot about 2024. So what's next? Like, what does 2025 look like? I know we're talking about the box, but like...
Yeah. Honestly, I think even with the podcast, I think that the box, the way that the box works out, so we're calling this thing the box or the honeymoon box, the honeymoon coffee box, but it has almost like two different elements to it. And one is basically a wedding gift, and it'd be a customizable wedding gift that's all around coffee. So it could be brewing equipment, grinding equipment, coffee beans, you know, mugs, scoops, like all sorts of different elements that someone may want to gift to a newly married couple to help them sort of launch the coffee part of their shared journey, you know, with some style, with you know, with some good high quality products, which, you know, a lot of people register for, you know, kitchen appliances and whatnot when they're getting married, and this would be a more coffee specific gift that could be given.
Yeah, but almost part of like from what I've seen, the relationship building part of it, the like activity part of it.
Well, that's actually, so we've actually...
Is this not it anymore?
No, well, we've pivoted into two separate products. So we're going to call that its own product.
Okay.
And that one's just a one-time gift. But then the other product, the name for it is The One. So once you found the one and you decided to marry them, you get your one first year together. And so for a year, every month, you'll be getting a new bag of coffee and also this relationship deepening ritual.
Okay.
And all of those...
These were one, though,
Yes.
And
the products were one, and now they're broken into two, but one of those is called The One. It's totally clear, right? I don't know why Guy Raz wouldn't have understood it.
Yeah. Guys, like, so which one are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
as we got these products together, we immediately divorced them. But it started to make sense for us that they really were kind of two separate things, and it also reduced the cost a little bit. So we're actually... The way the product is developing right now, someone would have to buy all 12 months, kind of all at once, shipping included, and then it shows up magically for a year. Okay. And there's a passport sort of book that they're keeping track of the different coffees that they taste, what they like, what they didn't like, what their preferences are, as well as different themes around what their relationship is going to face. And, you know, we've both been married. We've been married to each other now for 6.5 years. I didn't say that with very much confidence. I think it's 6.5. Got married in 2018.
6, yeah.
But then we were also married
there's a lot that
previously. Like we've got some reps on this thing. And so each month has a theme of an element of married life that we feel is important for them to reflect on. And the activity and the discussion reflects that. So I actually think it would be cool. I mean, I'm asking you right now, Mr. Producer, if we could have, you know, a segment every month that is focused on that month's theme, just to kind of demonstrate.
Can he say no in this situation?
Try it. Try and crush my dreams, buddy.
It sounds great. Yeah, let's do it. We have to do it now.
Yeah. So those are the goals. Honestly, for me, is to really give this box, you know, product, you know, a real go at it and put a lot of energy and attention towards it.
How will you get it out there?
I mean,
so
like, how will people know about it?
That is the fun part. We have physical stores right now that are something that we've grown, you know, over time in our area, so people know us. This is like a marketing PR endeavor.
Yep.
That is a new kind of puzzle to figure out how that all works.
Yeah. So there's bridal magazines, websites, registries. There's a lot of things that are sort of in the wedding and bridal like sort of space. as well as social media influencers. We could, provide this product to, an engaged couple that experiences it and shares that experience, and then that is something that sort of virally sort of tells the story itself. And then the next engaged couple says, oh, I want to do that, and so they register for it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
That's
so
the hope.
I think we're kind of going all in with that right now, and that's always a hard choice to make, because I think for me, I was kind of like, let's test the waters and see if there's a market for it, and dip my toe in it.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that makes sense for our brand, being called Honeymoon, and being a married couple that owns a coffee business. So all of that kind of fell into place naturally for us, and I think that's usually what we look for, is something that feels right, and this does for us. And so I know Zac will be spending a lot of his time helping to get that going, and then I have taken on some more of the kind of operations side now that Ryan has gone full time with his own business. So I definitely see that being part of my life this year.
Mm-hmm. Luckily for you guys too, we're in I don't know, I guess I haven't lived anywhere else in a while, but it feels like we're in like the wedding capital of the country.
It's because of your age. For us,
maybe that's true.
But I haven't seen you on a weekend in forever, because every time I call, you're going to another wedding.
That's true. I mean, there are weddings left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a fun gift, instead of just buying someone a toaster,
Sure.
or something, some plates that they may or may not use. It's like they're getting to have this experience together, and I think since COVID, the whole everyone is just more experience focused.
Totally.
And so I think that we have a good proposition there.
I think you do too. I mean, even for Christmas gifts for my nephew, my sister asked, is there any experiences you could do? He gets all kinds of stuff. He loves music. Is there anything fun?
I was telling my kids that too. I'm like, you guys don't really need anything.
Yeah.
Is there a concert you're wanting to go to, or something like that we could, buy your tickets for you? And it just, I mean, I think that's the ideal gift right now.
Yeah. Sweet. So no plans of new stores unless something comes up that just can't pass up,
I always think we're open to it. It just has to be the right thing. It has to be the full body yes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I think still for us, it comes down to kind of community need and having the right person in place to lead.
Yeah. I think I'm still interested in trying to move just slightly out of Evansville to see if we could recreate the magic in another city.
Yeah.
That's maybe not too far away logistically, but...
Or we're not the local guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the timing has to feel right. And right now our kids are still doing lots of sports, and we've got 2 college athletes, and we have another one in high school, and we really want to be available to go to those games and stuff. So if we committed to something where we're traveling back and forth, it just maybe isn't the right time.
I was going to be the next follow-up is, okay, that's what's for honeymoon. What's next for you two? But is it family?
Yeah. We are finishing up. We're working on a remodeling of our bathroom, which has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly,
some home projects.
I'm a bath guy. And she's finally getting me a bathtub, and it's gosh, we're only a couple months away.
Wes, I have to put this on the podcast. I ordered this awesome light. It is a showstopper.
For the bathtub?
For above the bathtub.
Okay.
Zac says it's too low, and he'll hit his head, and he can't work around it.
Form versus function.
He hates it. And I have completely shut down and stopped designing the bathroom.
Oh, man.
Killed her.
This is my favorite element.
Yeah.
And now I can't move on.
That is funny.
And even knowing that and hearing that, I'm still tripling down. The light is not the right light for above the bathtub.
I thought the more I got upset about it, you would eventually...
And just give it some time.
We finally found the limits of our love. It's this lamp.
I'm actually
4 stores
pulling
later.
I'm pulling it up so that Wes can
Wes
see
is
it.
not
Yeah.
going to do anything other than say, "Oh, you're right, Jessica."
No, he's gonna say it's interesting at least. It's called mantis because it looks like a praying
It
mantis.
does look like a praying mantis.
So now everyone's imagining a praying mantis light and saying, "Oh yeah, who wouldn't love that?"
Hey, link in the show notes. I'm gonna have one for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
I mean,
And
it's
you'll
pretty
see why it
sweet.
doesn't
But,
fit above a bathtub.
It does. Work yourself around it.
yeah.
Oh my god!
Jeez, duck.
Squat, getting. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Every
It's
time.
army crawl out. Like, surely you can make it work.
And I just spend the rest of the time like wondering, why am I staring at
Here
a
we go,
mantis? Why? I'm trying to relax.
I wonder that every time I'm in your office. What the hell are we looking at in here?
All right, the wheels are starting to come off.
Here we
Bring us
go.
home,
Here we
bring us
go.
home.
Here we go. Well, so from my vantage point, it was a great year in terms of like the podcast you guys did. The guests were great. I love the interview. I love the couple interviewing other couples. Like the farmer and Frenchman, that one was really enjoyable.
I loved that one.
Yeah, that one felt like you were in a different country. That really did. Like I felt like I'm listening to something that I'm like far away, like that I'm not attached to or close to. But yeah, I think that you guys have a great thing going here, obviously at Honeymoon, and I enjoy doing the podcast with you. So.
Hey, we're here for more, and as we say with a lot of endings of meetings, smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them if you got them.
And I will clarify by saying Zac says that. That is how he ends meetings.
And I don't even
goes,
smoke.
yep. Put them in. Put your hands in the middle.
I'm like, go team.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next year.
See you next year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah!
Well, that's it. Thank you for listening to the show this week. The Honeymoon Coffee Company podcast is produced in partnership with the Nectar Podcast Network, with music by Sam Cuban and podcast production by me, Wesley Luttrell. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back again soon.